Hey there, welcome, my name's Josh, and today we're talking about how to get over it. And basically when I say how to get over it, I mean how to forgive yourself and move on and stop cringing about all the stuff you did when you were younger. And that might seem kind of random, like how does that apply to art? Well, so like a few weeks ago I made a video about cynicism and being in touch with your emotions and, you know, knowing that it's okay to feel and everything like that. But the thing is that, you know, I made a comment in that video that, you know, if you got teased for being emotional or getting too hyped or getting into things, you know, you just need to get over it. And it's like, that's kind of a, like, harsh thing to say, and that's also kind of hard to do. So, like, if I'm saying that you need to get over it, I figured I might as well make some, like, insights as to, like, how you could do that and the importance of that and everything in that kind of realm. So basically what I'm saying is that if every artist needs to be able to control their cynicism and be in touch with their emotions so they can create the things that they want to create and, you know, do all the things that I've already talked about, it's like, that's cool and all, but it can be hard to be in touch with your emotions and to be emotionally expressive if you've done that poorly in the past, because, you know, maturing is a thing and cringe is a thing and you are always learning all the time. And if you've had cringy bad experiences in the past of getting too excited or not reading social cues or just basically embarrassing yourself, that can really just shut you down and be like, oh, I shouldn't emotionally react because then I'll feel like an idiot or do something stupid or they'll tease me. Like, that's what happened to me. Because when I was younger, when I was in middle school mainly, and then a little bit of high school, but then I caught on kind of quick, it's like I would get roasted for being too into things and not realizing that people weren't as excited about the things that I was excited about, and then reading the atmosphere appropriately. And because of that, I would just come off as really overbearing and really over the top. And now there's a line that I want to draw here. It's like, look, I'm not saying that you have to have a fake persona that, you know, when you're out with people and, you know, you get all edgelord here, it's like, oh, people don't really understand me, I have to be so fake because they don't understand how I really feel. It's like, no, like, I'm not saying that. Like, there's two different reactions and responses that you can have if you've gotten teased in the past. You can either go full edgelord Sasuke and feel, you know, victimize yourself and feel you're so misunderstood, nobody gets you, and, you know, just, oh, I need to, like, put on this fake persona and, you know, nobody can really know how I really feel. I kind of want to do that because, first of all, those cool, mysterious, you know, people, like, everybody wants to be them. At least I wanted to be them. So I was like, oh, I could just do that and then just try to be cool and aloof and over everything. That didn't really work, clearly. But then the other response, which I think is also equally not as good, is for the type of people who just trumpet, you know, be who you are and everyone else can suck it. And it's like, there's truth in that. You know, you should be who you are and everyone else can suck it. You know, that's not necessarily a bad piece of advice. But how you go about applying that piece of advice makes all the difference. Because if you're really obnoxious and out there about, you know, who you are and what you like and all of these things, like, good for you for being, you know, secure, I guess, in what you like. But the argument would be that if you're really secure in who you are and what you like, you wouldn't feel the need to have to trumpet it and broadcast it and shove it in everybody's face. So it's like, all you're really doing is being obnoxious. Like, if you're really confident and, you know, feel good in your own skin, you don't have to feel the need to prove it to other people and to, like, get all defensive if people get all up in your business for things that you like. So what am I saying? Basically, I'm saying that in order for you to be in tune with your emotions so that you can create the things you want to create and all the stuff we talked about before, you have to be able to know how to express those emotions appropriately for whatever situation that you're in, but yet not be so mindful of what other people think that you're not true to yourself. It's like, there's a line here. It's about knowing social cues. It's about knowing, okay, I'm excited about this, but I know that other people might not be as excited, so I should dial back my enthusiasm because otherwise they're gonna be kind of put off. And that's not a bad thing, that's just kind of life, that's just knowing how to interact with other people. And yeah, it can be frustrating and it can be annoying if you constantly feel like you're in this situation where you're constantly hyped about stuff and the people that you're with are constantly not. And that just might be an indication that you might need to get some new friends or find a new environment or find an outlet for that excitement. But not that those emotions themselves are bad. And what I'm saying is that I went down the path of feeling that my emotions were bad because I was immature in my expression of them. But as you get older, as you interact with more people, you will gradually learn how to express the emotions that you have that are good. And just because you expressed them poorly in the past and cringed in the past and embarrassed yourself in the past doesn't mean that you should get rid of the emotions entirely. All it means is that you need to know how to communicate them effectively IRL to other people and on the internet and everything else. Keep that gem, but learn how to convey it appropriately to the people that you're engaging with. Basically, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just because you've most likely embarrassed yourself in the past with your enthusiasm like I have, doesn't mean that those emotions were wrong. And then also, this is also important, I feel like that people tend to not realize this, but it's like the people who reacted negatively, that doesn't necessarily make them bad. Alright? Like, I'm not saying that they're in the right. Jerks are jerks and bullies are bullies and mean people are mean. But you can't totally blame them for treating you the way that they treated you if how you acted was pretty inappropriate and tone deaf socially and reading the atmosphere and everything else. Like, I mean, I've done really embarrassing, cringy things, and I want to just get mad at them and be like, you guys are all a bunch of jerks and you're all terrible. And it's like, well, I know it hurts and you want to say that, but have you ever considered that, you know, they reacted that way in large part because of how you acted? Again, that's not justifying their mean behavior or the cold responses that you got, but have you ever thought about why they did that? Like, again, not justifying saying that they're totally off the hook and that they were justified in what they were saying, but that you should be able to recognize that you didn't handle it the best, and then, you know, since that was in the past, forgive yourself and move on and recognize how to interact with people in the future, because the whole goal is to be able to interact with people and have them feel the same thing that you're feeling, right? So instead of pointing the finger at them and saying they're so mean and they're so evil and they just don't get me, it's like, well, okay, that might be true, but also, what were you doing to communicate what you were feeling effectively and ineffectively? And chances are when you're younger, you're doing more things ineffective than effective, which hence, you know, adds to the cringe and everything else. So be okay with learning and improving and with having cringe. All cringe means is that you're growing, all right? Cringe equals good because cringe is past tense. Even if you cringed 30 seconds ago, that means you've grown within the last 30 seconds. So to sum up, when I said get over it in the past video, all I meant to say was cut yourself some slack for being cringe or not acting as good as you wish you did in the past, because you're still growing and you're still learning. And you know, the things that you did that got negative responses, you know, try as best you can to be honest and to see how much of that negative response was in part due to how you acted and in part because how they acted. Now again, it doesn't excuse their action. Even if you were totally cringe and totally, you know, embarrass yourself way over the top, they could have still handled it a lot better than they did, and they could have treated you better than how they treated you. Everybody's responsible for their own actions, even the bullies. So I'm not saying that, you know, you deserve what you got by acting cringe. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that if you're aware of how you act, how that tends to get different reactions out of people, you can then start to learn how to convey your emotions in a way that other people respond to them favorably. But don't shut off your emotions because you didn't communicate them accurately or in a way that got a favorable response in the past. Learning how to communicate how you feel in a way that gets a favorable response from people is like a life skill. They have like courses on that in college. And you know, when you're in middle school and puberty or young or high school, like that's just a mess waiting to happen. So if you've had a few messes, cut yourself some slack, all right? I'm sorry that, you know, I've had a bunch of cringy things that I've done, and I've gotten really teased for doing things, and that sucks and it hurts. But ultimately, it's a learning experience, and you're gonna be stronger for it, and you're going to learn how to communicate more effectively because of it. Because at the end of the day, you want to communicate what you're feeling to other people so that their lives can be enriched and so that they can understand what you're trying to say. So in that sense, every feedback is good feedback. I know that sucks, I know that might sound trite, I know that might just sound cliche, but it's like, it's okay if you bombed and embarrassed yourself in the past emotionally, because it's made you who you are today. And that's it for this Thoughtful Thursday. Thank you so much. I stream on Twitch. I'm actually streaming right now. So streaming is kind of like my favorite thing in the world. I do it a lot. If you want a behind the scenes look, if you want to figure out more of what I'm doing, check that out. I love the support. And then I also have a Discord, and then I also have a Patreon as well. So thanks again for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.